Hello, hello, hello.
Oh,
Recording in progress. So
yeah.
you are all on the East Coast there, right? That are here at the moment on the East Coast of the USA. Yeah. And I'm in Rome. However, by this time next week, I will be in New York City girl. 25, 35. Hello, baby, New York City girl. Yes, and it's been maybe a year.
Since you've last been in New York, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it is one of the places that was calling me since I was a child.
Mm,
Yeah,
me
'cause-
too.
yeah, growing up in Boston, I don't know if you have any idea how many numbers of people are in Boston, but everyone thinks it's millions.
Hmm. I don't know actually. I went to school in Boston and I don't know. I
There's
mean,
not really more than 700,000.
650,706 as of
Exactly.
22.
650. It's always been 650 is what I usually say. And I was just like, what is it that I can do? Where is it that I can go that will open up something even greater? Because I need to connect with more people in the world. So when I went to New York, it was really quite funny that women, men, kids, boys were all talking to me as I walked by. And I was like, are they talking to me? What is it that they hear? Yeah. What is it that really we're talking about the right voice for you, but what is it that you can express and how you can express it that actually will invite people to
Mm.
connect with you in a very different way. Yeah. So the right voice for you years ago, it was called something else in Access Consciousness. And Gary Douglas, Dr. Dane here, and there was a gal who was doing it with them, and I was translating them here in Rome. And everyone in the room got a chance to speak, but they knew that my husband was not willing to speak, so they didn't make him speak at all. And he's an amazing architect, right? However, when he's speaking in public, in large audiences, he is not being the right voice for him, or up until now, he hasn't been the right voice for him. So I've been engaging with him to really get out there and share his brilliance, with the world. And so now he's doing that quite a bit, which is
cool.
really cool. Yeah. So and the right voice for you, with Access, I hosted so many all around. And again, they said to me, yes, you have the right voice for you. Why can't you be an invitation to people? Why do I have to do that? You're doing it. Why do I have to do it?
Oh my God, it's sounding so familiar.
I know, right? We're familiar of what I've said before, or familiar for you.
Familiar for me because I love hosting. Yeah. So what invitation are you in this class for something totally different?
Well, to show people, have them see their brilliance. Like you, Carla, when you laugh in a way that's different from others. Your laughter is actually an invitation for giggles.
Don't stop. I'll take over and we'll just be a laugh fest.
Yes. And so, and also when we're, with the communicating with yourself, with this right voice for you, allows you to express yourself in a way that is yours, not trying to be like someone else to do it the right way, or to think you're doing it the wrong way, or the good way, or the bad way. It's just if you're connected with you and you're getting your vibe out there, even before the audio version of your voice gets out there, your vibe is actually communicating with your energy to the world. It is the right voice for you. And it doesn't have to always be verbal.
Mhm.
Yeah. So anyway, after maybe 6 years of that we had stopped the right voice for you sessions with access, and then it restarted again. And Gary Douglas was asking me, "You have renewed your right voice for you license, haven't you?" And I said, "No." No. I didn't say no. I said no. Yeah. But anyone who does these a 3-day right voice for you class can become a right voice for you intro teacher. And it's really lovely to actually be the invitation for people to share your awareness with people
Oh,
about
cool.
what and how they can get themselves out there in the world or in their family, with their family or with their jobs or how, the communication. I've
Yeah.
been working on communication for quite a while, probably since I was a child. And Gary Douglas is the one when I invited him, I went to Florida to do my first CFP, which was then a level 2 and 3. And then I went the next year to California to get in 2006, I think, to get my license.
Mhm.
And I said, from traveling from Rome, and I said, look, what do I need to get you to come to Italy? Because I can't come here every month to be with you. And at the time, it was get 30 people.
Oh,
And
wow.
so
Wow.
we had 36 people, 37, 36. That
Wow.
was in 2007 with the
Amazing.
level 2 and 3 CFP, Choice for Possibilities, advanced class, and also for this class, which has no prerequisites, which they did. 6 of those people were from Italy only. But what I did with my voice was get out there to everyone I had ever met at any of the access classes in Florida, in California, on line. And I said, please, I really would love to get this access out there in the world in different languages. It's only in English at the moment. A little, they had done one thing in Mexico, but it was only in English in 2007. And the moment I invited all those people, in every year they would come twice. Gary, Dane, Simone, Brendan. Brendan wasn't around yet. Grace, and they stayed here at my house the first time. And I started inviting others. So the next time they came, it was Turkish and Spanish. And then the next time, and I was organizing and coordinating all that. And I said, how can I express the gift that these languages are and get some other people to help me organize the translation? What is it? What is it that you would like to express? What is it that you would like to activate? What is it that you would like to really expand, right? That we could play with, even in this call, um, to see what is the approach to you communicating with your voice. Yeah.
I just want a presence while you were talking. I had the experience of you reaching out across the globe with your voice and communicating that experience and the story that you have. I mean, the storytelling, in a way that's inspirational. And so I don't, I am getting this sense of the vibration of you along with that verbal piece. So, how does that play into the classes? Yeah.
One word verbally, 10 words energetically.
Ah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you see, one word verbally, 10 words energetically when you're present,
yeah.
and it doesn't mean, oh, once you get present, you're always present. And no, but we get to acknowledge and realize and recognize, I'm talking, wait for a response, and then I'm talking, wait for a response, as opposed to actually with each word, see what is the way that you can express yourself that would allow others to connect with themselves and express themselves as well. Yeah. Verbally, energetically, right? Vibrationally, whatever way, you know? Has it ever shown up for you that you've been talking with someone and they start talking over you?
Yes. Anybody else?
I do that a lot, actually. And I'm like, why do I do that?
Why do you do what?
I interrupt people sometimes.
Well, what do you know? What are you
Mm.
aware of? Yeah.
Sometimes people talk too slow and I get bored. I'm like, please
But
speed
are
this
you,
along.
yeah,
Give me
are
the
you,
message. Damn it.
and when you start playing with these, tools, these communication tools, right? Voice for you, access your communication genius, even the 7 steps, right? Hello, hello. You begin to notice that boredom is actually an awareness,
Mm.
right? Sorry to say, you probably will never get bored again. Oops, sorry. You probably have an awareness, perhaps, of the fact that they might be bored. And so when they're talking, they're not really present. They're not being the right voice for them.
Mm.
And it's actually an irritation, agitation that you may have identified up until now as boredom, right? So let us know what shows up when you start interrupting someone again. If you're aware that, and you might be able really to ask them, excuse me 1 second, can you repeat what you said? They might not even remember because they weren't present. Has it ever shown up for anyone that somebody has said something to you and you're like, oh my God, I totally didn't understand what they said? And you say, could you say that? What exactly did you say? And they say it again, and you're like, oh no, I can't ask them again. But what is that ever showed up? And you say, oh, interesting. What actually is going on is that you're not just hearing what they're saying verbally with their voice, right? You're actually hearing what they're saying or thinking energetically as well. So that right voice for you is really about how can you communicate with you, right, in a way that has your vibe get out there in the world in a different way, you know? And in the world, it could be with the flowers and the trees and the birds and the bees. It could be with the animals. It could be with your clothing. It could be with all kinds of things. There's so many amazing tools, and not everyone actually is willing to not feel wrong.
Mm, right.
So it's about playing. It's a play. It's play. I don't know if we did a live, I shared this with Carla, the gal that originally was doing, leading the right voice for you. I used to host her all the time. I would translate her into Italian and I organize the events and everything. And once she asked me, would you like to do a speech, Cass, or do a song or something? And it was near Christmas time. And I said, oh yeah. And I started singing, the Christmas. She said, I know you sing Christmas stuff, a lot. Would you like to sing? And I went and I sang my song and it was good. And she said, that was really lovely. It sounds really lovely. And she said, "May I invite you to sing that song again, as if each word in the song, it was the first time you ever expressed that word."
Wow.
Hmm.
That's also being a presence,
Mhm.
a presence. It could be a present, it could be being present, and it could be a presence. So there's lots of different ways to play with being the invitation that's to that right voice for you. I love it. And I started this Access specialty class. I told you about it, Access Your Communication Genius.
Yes.
And it used to be a different class about the golden planet. And Gary was like, can you be the invitation with this golden planet, do a golden planet class and invite people really to perceive themselves, right?
Mm.
In every in every second, right? To know themselves, to be themselves, and to receive themselves, you know. But a lot of times people were looking to go back to the golden planet. And so they wanted to take the class. And we were like, what is the invitation we can be? The right voice for you, access your communication genius in my, you know, easy and specialty 7 steps. But this right voice for you in this month of April, Carla was like, come to New York. We yes. So I don't know if you have any desire to play. And what we will be doing is on Saturday, not tomorrow, but Friday and Saturday from 9:30 to 5:30, and Sunday, Friday next week, right? And Saturday, and then Sunday we'll be doing 9:30 to 1, and then taking you out for a lovely lunch and seeing how we can use the right voice for us in that lunch in a group of with people that are not necessarily being the right voice for them. What's the invitation our vibe would be? Yeah. I mean, they'll be at other tables, obviously. Yeah. Yeah.
So I had a question, follow up to Kristen's question, is that she interrupts people. I interrupt people to get my point across. So I must be trying too hard. What can I do to, or what I need to look at? Like you said, well, with her, what is, if you change that, right? From boredom. And I'm trying to prove something, right? I have that, I guess, proving energy.
Well,
Well,
So what do I look at to, control my tongue?
well, do you try to get your point across while you're in a conversation about your points with people?
Yes or no?
Okay. Because perhaps, right, the right voice for you, what is the right voice for them, right? So, what kind of question could you ask them, approaching them from a different perspective about what you would like to get across? Like asking them, do you know anything about this? What do you know about this? Do you know what I mean? So that they actually aren't being in resistance and trying to, you know, get their thing across and like bang, 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 bang. But you're inviting them actually to share their magic with you. Say, wow, that's interesting. I actually look at it from a different perspective, but this is interesting to hear what you say. Just an idea. And so,
Yeah.
can I share what I know with you? What comes up for me? Can I share what comes up for me with you? So after you invite them to say something about the topic you would like to engage with, and then ask them if you can now share it with them, what you know about it. So it's actually a flow and engaging the flow. You know, one of the things that we do, these energy flows, which is one of my 100 favorite tools of access. the flowing, the energy. Just ask, do I need to flow the energy? Truth flow, truth pull, right? And not draining them, pulling from behind them, from all over the universe, through every element of them, towards you, through you, and lowering your barriers and allowing it to go beyond you, and just be present and see if the voice changes, if the vibe changes, if something changes when that shows up, right? Yeah. So we can even play with that, just pulling the energy, pulling the energy from behind, all around behind you, all the sides, through you, through you, through you, through you, through you, towards me, towards me, towards me, through me, through me, through me, bears down to me. And you can hear when and she's getting it. And now flowing it from behind me, from the left, from the right, up and down, through me, through me, through me, through me, through me, through me. Yeah, towards you all, 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 all, flow, flow, flow. Now open the flow up in both directions simultaneously.
Oh my
And
goodness.
if you're with groups of people, it's different. Some you're pulling, some you're flowing, some you're pulling from behind, flowing, and opening up that flow in both directions, in all directions. Well, I feel really relaxed. It's an amazing tool. There's lots of tools to play with, and it's just who we are that's present there and present here, and what we can play with and enjoy. Yeah.
Thank you for that. That was beautiful to feel all that. And then something you said, you said not to drain you, but what if there are some people that are so pushing so much energy, their points of view and everything at you, right? And it's like so overwhelming. Could we drain them?
It's right, so when someone's
Mhm.
pushing, bombarding. Have you ever shown up, it's like you get home and you're like, oh my gosh, I'll be ready to go out soon. I just need to rest for a moment. And it's like, I'm just a little tired. And you're tired because you've been bombarded. Or have you gone home and been like, oh my gosh, give me a moment. I'll be ready to go in a moment, right? And this way it's because they've been sucking you dry, right? And they've been draining you,
Okay.
right? So seeing what the energy is, right, that you when you're feeling exhausted. Am I feeling like going back? I've been pushed and bombarded, or am I feel like, oh, going forward like this, because they've been sucking me dry. So which is that? And if somebody is pulling you, right? Then sometimes we're like resistant. Don't be pulling me. Don't pull me. Don't pull me. Don't pull me. Don't pull me, right? So we're pulling them and they're pulling us and we're pulling them and they're pulling us, right? And sometimes that's called marriage. But
Oh my goodness.
instead of pulling, trying
Oh.
to resist the pulling, right? If they're pulling you, flow, but not from you. Don't exhaust yourself and empty yourself. Ask the universe, give me a hand here. Give me. So pulling energy into you from all over, through you,
Hmm.
towards them. So they're pulling you and they're like, well, wait a minute. Why is this so easy to be pulling them? So they're pulling you and it's like, wow, why is this so easy? And if you're present with them, you actually perceive the change because they're like, it may be in the way that they express themselves, it may be the vibe, but being present with them. The moment there is that shift, then you start not only pulling energy in the other direction. So they're pulling you, you're flowing the energy. And the moment they're like, oh, wow, well, you start pulling energy from behind them, through them, towards you, through you. And then the moment that changes again, their voice, then you start flowing it simultaneously in both directions. Now, what you were saying also, Karen, was with that people are pushing, pushing, pushing. And sometimes they don't even express it that way. They might be saying it like this. Hello, Karen. How are you? How are you doing? It's so great to see you. And they're still bombarding, right? So just ask, not with the words. Truth, pull, truth, flow. So if they're bombarding and you're like going down or resisting, right? That don't push me, don't push me, don't push me. And sometimes that's called marriage. You might they're pushing, you pull. So it's like they're like, whoa, I'm pushing and I'm getting to them. And you let it flow outside of you, lower all those barriers in front and in back and let it flow outside of you. And they're like, wow, right? And then open that up and flow it to them from behind you, through you, to them, and behind them. And then open it up in both directions. I always tell this story about, I was like, I'm like, the queen of energy flows, access. I could do that. And I'd always tell the story like I had come home from traveling, working, and I'm in the car with my husband. He's nearby. I'm in the car with my husband, and he's going, now this is what's going on, and this is your website, and blah blah blah, and this and this and this, and I'm like, goodness, I've just been, what's going on? And then I see the traffic. We're in a car, and I see this traffic that we're getting ready to hop on this highway, and it's all blocked, and I was like, oh no no. I'm not going to be able to be in this car for a half hour with this. So he's pushing. I know what to do. I'm going to pull the energy from behind him, through him, toward me, through me. I know how to do that. Nothing changed. I was like, what? I'm I'm pulling the energy. It was light, yes. Because he's pushing. No. Oh my gosh. Sounded like he was pushing. Is he pulling? So I opened up the flow from behind me, through him, and not in 10 seconds, not in 5 seconds, in 3 seconds, he said, now you are not doing anything wrong. You do it perfectly. And I was laughing, but I couldn't laugh, right? Wait for you. And I couldn't laugh in a moment. And I was like, really? Are you sure? Really? Are you sure? That was the right voice for me in that moment. He said, of course, you always do it. Wow. So, and you know what happened? Not only did we start flowing, the traffic that was on the highway went away. It took 10 minutes to get through it. So, what is the energy, the space, the consciousness, the choice, the magic, the miracles, the mystery, and the possibilities, and the right voice for you that you and your body can be? That would not only transform your communication with one, but with many, and with the earth, and with the traffic, and with the earthquakes for all eternity with ease. And everything that doesn't allow us to do that, and all the big fives that we're presumptive realities, and the need for reactive realities, and the need for reactive response systems, and all the AIs, and everything that gets us going back to the presumptive realities. Can we, will we, are we willing to destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yeah.
Truth,
Yes.
truth, truth,
Yes.
truth, truth,
Yes.
truth.
Yes.
Can't hear you. Can't hear your voice. Can't hear your voice. Can't hear your voice. Truth, 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 truth. Right, wrong, good, bad, all that fun part. Short voice forwards and beyonds, and all the beyonds are creating the beyonds, eternally beyond. Right, wrong, good, bad, all night, fun part. Voice
Oh my
forwards,
goodness.
beyonds.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Peggy. Hi.
Thank you for that question. That was amazing because when I tapped into, is he pulling energy or pushing energy? He wasn't pushing. The word sounded like he was pushing, but he was
Exactly.
actually pulling energy. So thank you. That was invaluable.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for receiving.
That was amazing. Thank you.
Do you get your amazingness for receiving?
Yes.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, ladies are lovely. Hey, Peggy,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm
Awesome.
here at work and everybody's comment so great, especially with three teenagers at home. I will start practicing this energy
Awesome.
flow.
Yeah, well, there's lots of different ways to, to pull with it. It's great when we're physically present because we have people stand up and play with that and see how energetically you actually feel it. And it, in your body too, when someone is pushing and when they stop. I love those, those flows. Yeah, different ways to do them. And there's also actually, just like Garen was saying, though, the words, the right voice for you, the words, even Gary Douglas, for example, how you say no. And I remember when there was a class that, Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, and somebody was like, you can't really say no to people sometimes. It's no, people feel really wrong when you say no to them. When you say no, that you don't do something, you can't say no to people all the time. And Gary said, no. Well, I mean, I get that you really can't say, but somebody was saying, I said, no. The guy didn't get, Gary was saying no in a way that wasn't that, you know what I mean? So how different people communicate in different ways, and what is the way that you would like to and could communicate? And I do lots of sessions with that, with kids, with other people's kids, the kids you don't choose to have, they choose to, be born near you or with a cousin or something so that they're there. And yeah, with in all kinds of ways, the communication with employers, employees, colleagues, yeah, co-creators, all kinds of things. And it's a great really launch to a new approach. Yeah.
So I have my husband one time was yelling at both my daughter and I standing there, says, I'm not yelling. And he's yelling. So, and I tested that is he was indeed pushing energy. So in that situation, if when somebody's yelling at you, it's important to just flow energy and not just because we tend to collapse our space too, right? We cower, right, out of fear. So if we just flowed energy and stood in our space, either in or out or test, like you said, that would that ease that as well
Well,
when they're in.
the same thing may not be the thing that will make the change every day. The same person, right? So ask, what is the contribution? What is the that I can be and receive at this moment? I mean, can I make a joke? You know, if someone's yelling, you might just will say to them, "I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Could you speak a little louder?" Or something, it's like, would they get that? Oh no, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to someone.
Yes.
They don't get it, whatever that is. Yeah, there's lots of ways to play with it. If communication is something that is interesting to you, it would be really great to, yeah, connect. Did someone say something?
Thank you.
Pleasure, pleasure. That's the way they say. That's the way they say that in South Africa. When I went there and did so many video body classes and stuff, they say pleasure. They don't say you're welcome. They don't say it's a pleasure. They don't say they don't say pleasure. They just say pleasure, pleasure. And so
Sounds
I
like 11-year-old Hermione Granger in the very first movie. Pleasure.
yes,
On the train when she first met the boys. Sorry.
It's a
Yeah,
great vibration. When who first met the boys?
Hermione Granger
Ah,
in the first Harry Potter movie when she's on the train.
love that. Love that. Yes. And it's such a great vibration. So it depends on what you like. I love that pleasure, and I love gratitude in Brazilian Portuguese, because it's just a different from gratitude. It's they say in Portugal they say gratidão, gratidão, and in Brazil they say gratidão.
Mm.
So what's the right voice? What's the right vibration that
Mhm.
actually works for you, and who has it, and are you willing to be it, receive it, perceive it, and know it? Yeah, awesome. Has anyone ever done a right voice for you?
Mhm.
I did many, many years ago when I first started doing Access. And yeah, it was a different class, that particular right voice for you. So I'm excited for this one. It was actually, there were two ladies in the class who were getting divorced after many years.
From
And
one another or from two men? No, okay.
no, from their husbands.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it was different, I think. But
Yeah, anyone actually, this is great for anyone actually getting divorced because, especially if you have friends and family connected, what is the way that can be? But my ex is in New York or New Jersey now. Yeah.
yeah, it
Uh,
was a contribution to me. I mean, huge. And it might have been a little different. I
yeah.
don't
It's
know.
always different. Today is a different day than tomorrow, for sure.
It's
Yeah.
true.
You did one, Karen?
I did too. 2015, 2016 with the Blossom
Uh-huh.
in New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the YMCA.
Why?
Central Park, yeah.
Okay.
Because
Okay,
they
I
have
want
the
to say that.
stage. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The why. Yeah. Yes, I've lots and lots with yeah. Yeah, nice. It's changed a bit. Christopher Hughes is now the organizer of them, and it's changed a bit. And everyone is, unique in their different ways of sharing the tools, and it's not structured. It's very much like being you. It's about being you. So they're very similar invitations in the being you and the right voice for you, because that is the way you can be you. Yeah. Yeah.
So where is it going to be in New York City
This
It's
next
gonna.
week?
Oh, sorry. Didn't
this
mean to talk
fabulous
over
place.
you.
Yes, talk. Go ahead. That's fine. I didn't feel interrupted. It's fabulous place. I never the name. I've been there like 4 times, but I don't remember the name. But it's a great area. Yeah.
It's near Penn Station and like Herald Square. It's called the Balance Arts Center, and it's a lovely space with uh, just like in the center of the city, and it's a space energetically wonderful for this.
Yeah.
So
It's in the 30s, right? Is it 34th?
30th.
30th.
30th between 6 and 7. Yeah.
Between 6 and 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So easy to get to. And yeah, I'm so excited about this class. And I love, Cass, what you said about this class getting you present with you and speaking in a way that allows other people to get present with them. And that also speaks to your question, Karen, about the, pushing, the pulling, etc. And so I'm really excited that you're coming, and I wonder what gift this can be for all of us.
And what gift you will be for the world. Yeah. What gift we can be and receive, right?
Yeah.
And gift. Yeah. Because it's a time of change, you
Mm.
know? So it's a lot of things going on around the world besides the earthquakes, there's wars and stuff, and also a period in the US where we have you know, new government showing up, and lots of people have, they're not exactly expressing what they truly think, in a way that is, you know, the right voice for them. So it's an invitation, um, for us to invite a presence and see what the US, what is the invitation for the US in the future. Yeah.
So class starts next Friday.
Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la. How does it get? How does it get? How does it get any better than that? How does it get? How does it get? How does it get any better than that?
And Peg, you got on later, so it's Friday 9:30 to 5:30 and Saturday 9:30 to 5:30. And is that correct? Or 6? 5:30.
Yep.
And Sunday we go 9:30 to 1:30, and then we all go out to lunch and explore these tools in the world. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It'll be lovely. Lovely, lovely. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ping us, ring us.
So this is a
Full
2 3 days class,
It's
What?
a
3 day class. Okay,
Yeah, it's 3 days,
all right.
and there aren't any prerequisites. So yeah,
and and
anyone.
again, if you happen to join, so excuse me for interrupting you. If you happen to join, it's possible to do intros, and you can share your magic with the world, you know, doing 2 to 4 hour intros, 90 minutes to 4 hour intros on um the right voice for you. And so that would be great. You don't get necessarily listed as a certified um, intro facilitator, but you're able to actually get those, do those classes. And I think it could be fun, you know, to play with it and see what shows up for you.
I love that. I didn't know that until you said it today. So thank you for sharing that. Cool.
I think it's something new. It's the whole thing is the structures change. It's something new. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
is there a requirement to do it as an intro facilitator or intro person? I don't know what you call it. Do you have to take Right Voice for You every year in order to do that?
Well, if you do it, this is a new thing, so you have to do it in the year that you do the intro.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can ask that if it continues, goes on and on. On and on and on and on. Yeah.
That is exciting.
Yes. Yes. And if there's anything, let me know if there's any plays to see in the evening or something, theater. Yeah. New York. Yeah.
Ah,
And
I
in May, you're going, if you come, we can go back to New England together because my family is there. So yeah, yeah. Kristen in from Maine. Yeah. And have some lobster together.
Karen.
Karen, you're in Maine. Kristen,
Yeah.
where are you?
I'm in New York.
New York City, right.
I'm
Right.
not in New York City right now, but I will be this weekend, and I could be next weekend. I'm
Nice. 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 How far from Boston are you, Karen?
2 hours.
That's shorter than
I'm
me.
only 6 hours from New York. So I'm really considering this. Can you see my gears turning? Where do I stay? Where do I park?
If you
Yeah.
need any assistance with that, I can help you out with that. We just did CFP in February, so I
Okay.
have to know all the places and spaces.
I was gonna
Yeah.
go. I was gonna go to the CFP there with you in February, and I went to Cairo and did it in January with to do it with Simone, just because February I needed to be here.
Cairo, that's
Uh,
cool.
yeah, hadn't been there in 20 years almost. Yeah,
Wow.
Awesome. Yeah, traveling around the world and, there's so much more that unites us than separates us. So what
Mhm.
is the right voice for us that would allow us to know the vibe
Mhm.
that we contribute to this amazing
Mhm.
planet called Earth? Yeah.
So, Cass, you had said earlier, since one of the families that I usually bring lobster to, they finally confessed and said, no more lobsters because we don't like lobsters.
Oh my gosh.
There's only some members that like lobsters, not all of them like. So they said, no, don't bring lobsters this time. And I was like, oh. So I was like, oh my God, there's my hook, right? I just lost my hook. So what do I need to use in place of that? Or, you know, or what is
Right.
the right voice to be invited, right? To visit them or for them to make space so that I get to see them, right?
Absolutely. And
I just
also,
lost my hook.
well, or is there another hook waiting for you?
Oh, but
Yeah. I can tell you about lobster, that they used to the fishermen used to close their curtains when they were eating lobster because people had considered it so something not really good. So they would be eating
mhm.
lobster and they'd have to close their curtains so people wouldn't see them. And years later, lobster became like one of the most expensive things that you could eat, right? So what is it now that people are considering? Yeah. And it's not the only thing in Maine. It's not the
Mhm.
only thing. Yeah, the salads are good too. Yeah, different. Love it. And also you can chop it up, and make something out of it because it could be a little bit different than just the
Mm.
plain
Right.
one that we like. Don't put butter. I don't need butter on it. I don't need
I
anything
know
else.
there's a new restaurant in Maine that serves it 5 different ways, a lobster sandwich. So we ordered, two of each, just so we could get our
We,
favorite.
we,
So they're
we'll give you
different.
some.
Oh,
We'll give you some money to bring us some lobster sandwiches if you got money. I'm just saying, from Maine, you can get there. Put it in a little cold thing. I'm just saying. I love it. Oh la la, oh la la,
Lobster.
oh la la, oh la la. You're getting me excited. All right. Anyone else with anything? Yes, my voice will be much better also with lobster. You you could actually say that to them. Your voice was so different when you ate lobster. Just
Oh, good.
kidding. Yeah, absolutely. So do let us know. And if you're coming, I think you've already got my book, but I've got it's a new book, Dancing with Riches, Dancing with the Riches of Your Life. And it's in step with the energy of change using the Access Consciousness tools. So I should have some copies I can bring for you and do my personal signature. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Which
I
Kristen knows.
What did you say?
Kristen knows my personalized signature too. Yeah.
You
All
got
right.
it personalized. I actually just wanted to put in the chat, just in case you wanted to look at the details. The link, if you would like, is right there, just in case.
Yeah. And see what shows up. If you click it and sign up today, or yeah, now see what shows up in your life. Because that's
mm.
so often what shows up when you click and sign up. See who calls you. The moment the phone rings, the moment someone or something shows up, and please let us know yeah. So that would be lovely to just see what shows up for you. Okay.
Beautiful.
And
Thank you.
anyone else? There's a song, a Peggy song, you know that. Peggy, I wish I had something to say to you. It's late December and I really should be back at school. You know that song? No, I think you're amused, but I feel I'm being used. Oh, Peggy, I wish I never seen that way. Anyway, I'll sing it to you later.
Thank you.
I think it's actually Maggie by Ross
It
Stewart.
is. It is.
Maggie,
You know it.
But
Yeah,
you changed it?
I
Okay.
did. I did.
she's having fun with it.
Oh, that was
You know,
amazing.
love that, Karen.
Why not?
Yes. Okay. So
Okay.
you don't have, if you'd like to sing or talk or do speaking engagements or something, this would be really great, or even just communicating with yourself, your body, and your friends.
I want to go into stand up.
Oh,
Awesome. Awesome. I think that that would be great. Well, stand up for a second.
that's awesome.
Because being Chinese, right? I was 10 years old when I came, and all the Caucasians in Canada looked alike to me. It was really frightening because we all wore school uniforms. So there's so many things that, so the Caucasian face was not in my data banks. You have data banks for facial structure, right? And so just 10 years later, we were watching a Chinese movie with my, well, husband, but who was boyfriend back then. 4 main Chinese characters. I couldn't tell them apart. They all look alike to me. And my husband says, she's with him and he's with her. Can't you tell they don't talk? They talked alike. They look alike there. And he's Caucasian. Okay, he's French. And I was like, oh, to be able to tell facial structures is actually a talent or a gift. And not everybody has it. Right? So I want to get my, message out there with humor so that, people don't feel so bad about themselves. Like, oh my God, I can't identify a different race of people, for criminals and things like that. Right. Yeah, it's like, no, you may not have the gift for that. Right. Like right voice for you. Kass, you do have the perfect voice. Oh my goodness. I never recognized that about you, but you have the right voice because you have that resonance. It's a beautiful voice, that deep voice and by the way, deep voices are sexier.
Sexy.
This is why we like men with deep voices. It's just we're drawn to them, right? So
there's so much more to say about that. And one of the things is all of us have the right voice for us. Mm-hmm. It's just being an invitation to acknowledge it and share it and enjoy it. Enjoy with it. Yeah. Enjoy with it. Yeah. Yeah. Shh, don't tell anyone I said that, but we all have the right voice for us. Sometimes we're trying to do the right voice the way somebody else does it. But there's nobody that does you better than you. That's the invitation. I say that.
Yep. Thank you for this.
I think that's a lovely place to close.
She
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Hope to see you soon again.
All right.